Hello, 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 and welcome to another One Lion of Code. I am One Lion, and I need to turn down a tab. Turn down for what? For what? Anyway, hi, welcome in. This is a very interesting situation that's happening. About 15 minutes ago, one of my smoke detectors decided to let me know that the battery is dying. Yay! So I went upstairs and checked to find out which one it is. Looked for a 9-volt, and I don't have any 9 volts. And I didn't want to cancel community day, so I haven't gone to the store to get a 9-volt to replace it with. And now it's just going to be beeping throughout the whole stream. So that said, I probably won't do a workday stream afterwards because it's going to drive me crazy as it is. And I don't think I want to go for an extra 3 hours after our normal community day with the smoke detector chirping at me. So hopefully you can't hear it. Hopefully the microphone filter stuff is good enough to filter out the chirp. So today is Friday. Happy Friday to all of you. Fridays on this channel are community days. So if you are interested in participating in community day, all you have to do is either send a chat with some topic that you're interested in talking about, or join Discord, join any Discord voice channel and type !waiting. Some of these window swap scenes, type !waiting into chat, and I will know that you're in a room waiting to be invited in, and I'll pull you into that room. Okay. Something almost happened to my voice. So I'm going to go ahead and hop over to my desktop while we wait for anyone who is interested in having a conversation about whatever topic. And unless and until we do get some conversations going, I will be doing my work. So I researched and resolved the CSV issue, or not, you guys didn't know it was a CSV issue. The issue that the user reported to me yesterday. And so what I'm doing now is publishing that change. So I just did the PR and merged it. And so now I'm waiting for the builds. The build, for whatever reason, has been failing, which is really weird. Because I made no changes to the pipeline since June. So very weird. Hopefully it just works this time. It's been failing on this, and I tried to look through the failing pipeline to find out where it errored last. And for whatever reason, when I type error, oops, and I tell this thing to find the error, you can see that I'm like arrowing through, and it's not, oh my gosh. It's because it was way over here. Okay, so I report options couldn't be found, and the generated system well item.razor component. Why are you trying to do that? But hopefully I've cleaned up quite a bit of the chatter. Yeah, so it's still failing, but hopefully we'll have less warnings, less chatter in here so that we can get right to the errors. Yes, perfect. Okay, so is this still the same issue? In our generated system well item, I report options could not be found. And I just ran the application in dev in debug. So maybe I just need to do a build in production. I mean, release profile. Phone. Calm down. This is gonna be hard. Oh, okay. Hold on, Peter. I am pulling you in to the stream room in 3, 2, Wondertoe. And there you are.
Was that instant? I'm gonna anyway. How was the lag? Okay.
It's
We're
good.
lying about the counting. I have 2 seconds of lag, roughly.
Oh, okay.
You liar. You lie. And on Christmas.
I usually do wait after I hit 0 before actually pulling you in, but I'm
okay.
I don't know if you heard, but I have a smoke detector that is chirping, and it started chirping about 15 minutes before I started the stream, so I couldn't go and find a battery.
I mean, this is like a metaphor. The fire, is it a smoke detector? Not fire alarm. It is a smoke detector, which also is an alarm of sorts.
Yes.
But this is a metaphor for operations alarms as well. Do you continue to suffer through the chirping when it's broken? Or do you just unplug the batteries and sleep at night knowing you might die in a house fire?
I unplugged the battery and it's still chirping. Because I was
wait, what?
I was like, I don't want to cancel the stream just so I can run to the store to buy a new battery. Like, I checked the house to see if we had any. Of course we don't.
My fault.
Yep. And I was like, I don't want to cancel the stream just because this thing started chirping. I said we were going to do a Friday stream, a community day stream. I'm not going to cancel it. And now it's just beeping, chirping.
Excellent. What? So wait, so you plugged it in. It's chirping and plugged it.
I mean, it's connected to the house electricity. All of the smoke alarms are.
Oh, that's dumb. Okay, well, I haven't heard a chirp yet, and I would know.
Yeah, good.
Because that is a classic streamer thing. If you want to have like a fun, disgusting way to mess with your chat, you just have that sound, that little just have it show up at random times.
Oh man, it's already driving me crazy, so I don't know if that's gonna work for me.
You have it only play for the stream, but you don't have to hear it.
No, that's terrible.
Oh, I'm an ideas man.
Yeah. I'm an idea man, Chuck.
This will be $1 million idea. Or not. So, welcome.
So I need to figure out why this thing is not building in... Why did you fault? And which project? Why this is not building in my pipeline. It's so annoying. Yeah, wait, what? Huh? I just changed my build profile to release and all of my project files cannot be loaded suddenly. Anna! And I can't investigate because we need to greet everyone. Hello, Anna. I was lurking on your stream. I hope you had a great and fantastic and wonderful stream today. I am in the middle of researching an issue that I was trying to get resolved before I started Community Day stream, but I didn't. But yeah, today's Community Day. On the call, on the phone, we already have Peter.
Oh yeah, that is me. Also, if we're doing the raid thing, you're good cop, I'm bad cop. So you are not welcome, raiders. And I'll hit you with a Yellow Pages phone book. like Detective Sipowicz. I don't know if y'all remember. That was in NYPD Blue. It's a classic.
NYPD Blue. Oh man, my dad used to watch that all the time, which meant
It's
that
an old thing.
I watched it
Yeah.
also.
You know Detective Sipowicz.
I
Yeah.
kind of remember. Was he dude that eventually went
Bald
blind?
fat guy. I don't know, but if he went blind, but he's bald fat guy with a mustache.
Detective. Yeah, yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, well, that's too bad if so.
I can't remember.
Yeah, we're too old. That's the thing. Like even it was basically like 80s, 90s, like early 90s maybe.
Early
I don't
90s.
know. Early 90s.
Yeah.
It was prestige TV, even though it wasn't.
I mean, there's so many spin-offs for this too. Or no, I'm thinking of NCIS.
Yeah, you're thinking of NCIS,
Like
which
a million spin-offs for that. I have no
I'll
idea,
never
no
die.
clue who you're talking about, Susanna. No loading projects. I found a solution for that. Delete the entire solution and start again. True. True. What was your first episode? 1993.
Jurassic Park, huh? Huh. That's the year. That's the only thing that happened in 1993 is Jurassic Park. And I'm actually not sure it was 1993. So
Well,
my
if
memory
that's the
of
conversation you want to talk about, let's find out. Jurassic. Are there two S's in Jurassic? That was my mindset today, Susanna. Let's restart 11 of the game engine and now work with generators to do a lot of the heavy lifting. Yeah, absolutely. I think I was going a little too far when I was using generators for the data import project because 1990.
Wait, what?
But
No.
the film
Original. Whoa.
adaptation was 93.
Okay, thank you. Book was awesome too.
Yeah, Michael
That's
Crichton's
another
book.
thing. Old people, we loved Michael Crichton back in the day. This one, Jurassic Park, Sphere, and Sphere more than this book. Those were great. Anyway, sorry, pop culture talk. Let's move on.
Why? You get to drive the conversation.
Well, that's why I'm driving us away from where I'm driving us.
So when I was doing the data import utility, I was creating a source generator to create enums based off of my mapping rules. But after a while, I was pretty much generating my entire code base using source gen so that I create a class and it writes pretty much the rest of the library. So it was just harder to debug and didn't make sense to have all of my code written in a text block. So I undid all of that.
I've never used source gen. Like, I've used reflection a few places, like simple, call a private method type reflection. But like not really. I don't think I've done anything too crazy. But I also regularly work with the UI where like having a lot of forms that do the exact same thing seems like a obvious spot for it. Anyway. So you were having build failures. What was that? When I tuned in, you were having build failures.
Yeah, so in my pipeline, in my CI/CD pipeline, when it's building my RMA water solution using .NET Core 6, I am getting could not find iReport options. In system well item .razor.g .cs. So the generated Razor files are failing. Why? Why is it even trying to compile generated Razor files? I am so tempted to go ahead and just switch this over to the .NET 8 version. It's just I haven't done extensive testing on my .NET 8 upgrade to this solution, to this project, but I'm just curious to know whether it builds or not. So we're gonna find out. Maybe we're gonna find out. Who knows? Hi, TBD Gamer. I have escaped meetings for 15 minutes. And also, for anyone that didn't hear, please forgive me if I am quite a bit distracted because there's a chirping that's happening, and it's hard to ignore.
Is smoke alarm chirping? Smoke detector chirping. Apparently I have a mental block. I'm gonna call it fire alarm till the end of time. And I'll have to like triangulate to the correct words, which 50% of the time won't be correct. Welcome TBD Gamer. What update? By the way, I'm very disturbed by your pipeline saying you installed .NET 8, but then you had it set to 6 previously.
Oh,
that disturbed me. I don't care, but I wanted to shame you.
Wait, what do you mean? So
it says display name. So your version, all right. So what is that version?
Yeah, it automatically updates.
What?
I think I just blew his mind.
That is a level of care I have not ever seen before in a pipeline CI/CD build tool. I am serious.
I think he's broken.
And I meant to shame you. And I'm sorry. I am ashamed.
That is the fun about just making stuff for yourself. Want to update to .NET 9? Sure. 5 minutes later. Why did that break? Well, let's remake it from scratch.
Yeah.
Oh. No, this is work product, though.
That's why you're not having fun.
Yeah.
That's so topic. I don't know. I just started doing I'm actually really curious how this goes. So interrupt me once this actually has results.
Yeah, I'll just open this. It'll be
I can't be bothered to look at your screen. I mean, I'm doing nothing else but leaning back in my chair, but okay, that's good. I can pretend to watch. But I tried some operations coding not puzzles, I guess, but they're very Unixy Linuxy. And I had to learn today that the unique UNIQ command does repeating lines. So if you actually want to say, so like if you have 2 lines of text, everything's text, and it says 1 2 1, and you say unique, count the number of 1s and 2s. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, the point is, if you haven't sorted first, it doesn't work like I would think.
Oh.
So I had to learn to sort it so I could pass the basic Unix exam. And I also am going to have a mental block on calling it Unixy or Unix, even though literally no one uses Unix anymore. Of course, now that I've said literally, like, we use Unix, Solaris, Sun Solaris, we still have it.
Xnix.
That makes me uncomfortable too. But and then there's FreeBSD and those like that apparently super large companies rely on the BSDs and they have smart people who know what they're doing, whereas I usually don't know what I'm doing. Yeah,
What are you?
TBD.
Like
It's not about
150
age.
years old?
It's about, I mean, close. But it's not about, it's just
Speed.
about a mental block. It's like me calling it a smoke detector.
Smoke
I had to
alarm,
think about
smoke
it.
detector.
I'm gonna call it a smoke detector. That's what I'm settled on for the next hour. Not sure. So, man, that's
Maybe I
taking
need to
its
do a
sweet time.
clean.
Not on pipelines. Why? Why would you have
I
to
have
clean?
no idea why. Like, is there a way that I'm checking in bin and obj? Is there a... Because
I mean,
it's trying to compile or trying to compile the generated g.cs file.
okay.
Which I
Let's
guess
run it
makes
local.
sense.
I'm actually good.
I did.
Did it work?
Yeah.
Did it, and you ran it the same way? All right. Do you have a clean repo? Can you do a git clean, like a complete wipeout of every file that you're not committing to source control?
Sure
Basically,
can.
like get it where,
Oh.
get it where your repo is as clean as a whistle. No, I mean run git clean, because it will destroy all your bin object and also all these things
Sure.
that you don't even think about.
I absolutely will. I was just looking through that to see if there were, and I had no idea what I was doing because I was trying to listen to you so that I do it as soon as I look at this folder. Client
I'll allow it. I will choose to allow it.
pages. Okay, no bin or obj folders here. I am getting the launch settings, which I guess makes sense.
And it will wipe out. If we do this git clean, it will wipe out files that you might have excluded, like launch settings.
Get clean saves a life sometimes, says Anna.
See? Yeah.
Okay, so the answer is that this errored on ASP.NET Core Models is not compatible with Net 6.
Oh, that's a simple. I'm sorry.
I honestly don't know why that would be an issue because my the solution that I specified in the pipeline only references .NET 8 and above projects.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. But I'm going to change it back to Net 6, to the Net 6 version of the app, because that's...
Everyone watch the magical... Oh, you...
Sorry. You can see
I
it here.
watched it. I was amazed. I was amazed. It updated the title. I was pretty pumped. Pretty pumped.
And it's like, do I even do a .NET publish on all of my pipelines? Again, I am going to run this locally right now, or do a git clean.
I won't get to it. It depends on, like, this getting it running locally is kind of a pain. So, like, if you could figure it out, like, I am suggesting the thing I drop down to once it basically stops working and I run out of ideas of trying things on the pipeline.
Take your time.
Yeah, that is brutal. That's a brutally slow start time.
Fatal. Clean require force is true.
Yeah. Are you ready? Can you do a get status?
Yeah.
It'll be.
Will. I was just closing the solution too.
Oh, it keeps it open. All right, get clean, and it is. What's that?
I have a modified. No, what in the world? Oh, I do Control KD by habit. I don't know.
Well, I just just get it out so that we don't have to worry about losing data.
There.
All right, it's get clean, and this is. It is XDF for me.
Oh,
get
XDF.
Clean XDF one more. And I have heard I've heard so many variations of this, like FDX, DFX, Like, I don't think it matters, but this will wipe out all the files that are not
Okay.
committed. Have you pushed already also?
I have.
Okay.
Unlink. What is unlink?
You might. Oh, you have Visual Studio open. Golly, just say no. Don't try again. We don't care about that. I mean, I guess. So there's a lot of stuff to remove. So there we go. Now, oh, there's more stuff. So I'm quite sure if you got rid of Visual Studio, it would have no problem. But
well, I think it was just the .vs folder, which is going to exist at any time that I open the solution of Visual Studio, at least once.
All
is
right.
That Charmander? Is Ducky on fire?
Ducky
Go ahead.
on fire.
Hi, Tricky Lady.
This is fine. Welcome to the stream, Tricky Lady, about 10 minutes after the raid. But I'm not shaming for your tardiness. I wouldn't do that. See, I'm not the streamer, so I can be.
You can say whatever
I can
you
roast
want, and I'll
your
just
chat.
kick you out.
Yeah, that's true. It's true.
I won't kick you out, though.
It's limited roasting. I only do limited roasting of your chat. Also, the term roasting, kind of it's questionable.
She says, "Well." I'm eating pizza. Ooh. Oh, them is fighting words.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna try queuing this one more time on the .NET 6 version, but I did a get clean. Now what?
Okay, I'm sorry. Now we try and do this all command line build.
Okay.
The
Cool.
steps that the thing is doing, and most of the time the version of .NET doesn't matter. Most of the time.
Right, and it's just a .NET publish.
There will be a NuGet restore, but I don't think you have to worry too hard. But yeah, we just wiped out NuGet from that local folder. Although I think NuGet
yeah, my NuGet cache is in user.
Yeah, okay.
Local
so you should be fine. Should be fine.
It does configuration.
Yeah, just fill it in with release. We don't.
And then I don't need to do an output directory. It'll just use the default.
Yeah, if it was failing, it might make a difference, but like, yeah.
Wait. Am I really only doing .NET Publish on the WASM project?
Yeah, but it's failing.
Yes, I am.
Because .NET, I've discovered this, it will build whatever it needs to in order to accomplish this publish. I'm even kind of surprised that you have all that NuGet restore separate, because it will actually do
a NuGet restore during the publish. Yeah, it's in case the NuGet portion is the one that fails. I don't know.
Then you can see it. Okay. I like separating them out because you can see it, but I will say like that also I'm old and did this on Team City in the days of yore, and it really helped.
TBD Gamer's like, I like the explicit restore, build, and publish. I mean, publish.
Yep. Yeah.
Yes. Power choice update. I really need to ignore CS0168 as well. Unreachable code detected.
Oh, we're not looking.
I want to clean this now.
No, you can't.
It's inherited members. Really? Nuh-uh. One issue at a time. Focus on the one true path. Don't get distracted. The one true
Perfect.
path is making these, every single one of these projects, .NET 8, at the same time with no warnings on the command line whatsoever. All right,
I did
TBD,
get
enter your meeting.
Yeah, TBD. Shake a leg or whatever. I'm just gonna say everything wrong. Shake a leg, buddy. Shake a leg. It's like, don't you mean break a leg? But then, like,
No,
you're
I
saying
meant
it
shake
for
a
like
leg.
a corp.
Go fast.
Yeah. Anyway. Two things.
Shake a leg
Number
sounds
one. Yeah. It does, Anna. It does. RMA Water Blazor client.
Yes.
I'm curious about this build thing. Is this part of your post build thing? Because I am not accustomed to seeing like status lines being updated. I'm used to very old vanilla compiler output where it puts a new line and then it puts a new line. This I'm seeing like a progress. This is weird.
Yeah, I have. I don't really run publish or anything from command line typically. I just use Visual Studio, Control F5.
Maybe this is a .NET, not .NET new thing. Maybe.
Wakarimasen desu. Okay. No errors. Build succeeded.
It might be the thing.
I got a bad feeling about this.
I also got a bad feeling about this. I thought you said that, and I was like, you know what, you're right. So
no, Anna said, and Anna used the sound alerts. I need a way to get the sound alerts to play through Discord.
It somehow. Did. I heard it somehow.
Oh, weird.
And I did mute the stream, so you're doing great. Oh, well.
Whales?
I'm happy there is a command line because that tells me that you can perfectly replicate what is happening on this CI server. Unfortunately, what might be happening is that you have a different .NET SDK or something dumb like that. You know what I'm saying. It's unlikely.
Because it is building using .NET 8 most likely because I'm not using a globals.json.
But which version?
You know what, though?
The latest.
You know what? Let's try using the .NET 8 SDK even though we're compiling the .NET 6 version. I'm not opposed to that.
And I've also gotten you foolishly to destroy your local working directory.
Oh, that's fine. I like my version of doing that, which I have done quite often, is just deleting the folder and recloning.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's a much easier way to do it, though.
Yeah, it's a good technique. It's one of the few Git commands I use beyond the Git commit.
We were going to compare others. And it says, or set NuGet packages to use the latest version, or latest instead of the lowest common compatible version. I had that once. Ugh.
Brutal.
I set them to specific versions and only update them when I am doing a refactor. Waterman. I know you're publishing correctly in your .NET 8 project. What's your pipeline look like? NuGet restore. Use .NET 8. Publish. Yeah. They all use the same template, so...
Oh, can you look at your history of the build? This is why I hate these forums.
Which
I
one?
want to see, sorry, the pipeline run, go to the
Or
logs.
RMA water or...
Oh, whatever's failing, sorry.
Okay, yes.
Because it'll tell
This
you
one.
what it's doing. Basically, some line at the top of each step or somewhere near the top.
Okay. Is there a particular one you want to look at?
One of the failing ones.
Any of the failing ones? Actually, let's go to the most recent.
Yeah.
.6. Okay.
Go to the detailed logs where it fails.
Detailed logs.
I don't know. I'm saying vague things. Yeah, the .NET publish. There should be. You go to get debug logs, or maybe you don't even need to get debug. But all the way at the top, it should say what it's running.
Oh, right.
Like,
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What is it running?
Gotcha. So it should be using.
You might have to switch the view. No, I see it. It's at line 12. By the way, I put on glasses. I'm old. What's up?
I wear my glasses all the time. Yeah, I see it now.
Publish this configure. Oh, look at that. Configuration Blazor Waza map.
Why are you configuring Blazor? Oh my gosh, you found
Try
it.
That
That is awesome. Thank you.
Well, is that it?
Yeah, it's got to be because that's the .NET 8 app. All right. Let's try that again.
You haven't saved it.
I have 2.
Oh, yeah. It's a true statement.
That was awesome, dude. That was like a superpower.
Well, just imagine what it's like when you can't find the command line tool. Like, the tooling in .NET has gotten so much better for this kind of troubleshooting because it is emulating, the other ecosystems that have been doing this for a while. Like, I mean, I'm still happy I'm not like a C++ programmer. You could just that's the Christmas miracle that all of us are not C++ programmers and have to like live with their level of complexity and like multi-architecture builds and all that. Like, we got it easy. But like, man, they can narrow down because their whole tool chain is command line. Anyway.
What do they call this thing? I think we're just gonna go for an enemy from an empty job and just copy over little by little.
Yeah, I don't know how you're doing pipelines, and
I'm not doing YAML.
I hate the YAML, but I also think it's the best way. But I also, if you're not there, like, I'm not going to tell you it's better. It's just there's sadness around every corner. Merry Christmas.
What I have done is I've gone into the pipeline of another one that is working and just exported it or saved it as a template. But when I just now tried to load that template that I thought I called it, it wasn't there. Actually, I'm going to create a new template anyway. RMA net 8. How's that? Blazor. Or Blazor. Yes. Okay. Can we cancel without saving?
And dodged a bullet.
About a year and a half ago, I was standing in front of my laptop, looking at evening classes to get a little certificate, and I had dumbed it down to C++, VS, C# courses. Wait, what? Guess which one I chose. Oh, those were your options.
Versus. You're so...
That's like,
versus.
You did C++ or Visual Studio or C#.
No, and you're the normal one. Trust me, you're the normal one.
Me? I mean, I am, as far as age is concerned, I'm old. As far as how much life I have left, I'm young.
There we go.
Ha.
But you did just Visual Studio the verses. So we'll never forgive you or forget.
So I'm gonna guess you chose C++.
Haha. I will say, like, look, there's a lot of good options. C++ has to be like the wrongest option, unless you know, like, hey, I have these 5 friends who all work at C++ jobs, and I really love it. I love what I've seen of it. Like, I can't imagine. It's the wrong answer. There we go. Hot take number 1 of the day. C++ is the wrong answer. Everything else almost is good. You notice how I said almost.
Never forget the horrors of VS as Visual Studio.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why? So the template that I just saved is not showing up. Porque no?
Search. Use the search.
I did. I said Ara Emma A.
I don't know how this stuff. Funny enough, I've done pipelines in Azure DevOps, but I sure haven't done this. Look, besides, I'm resting on my laurels. I've done one useful thing in all of today, and including work. And I'm done. I'm done for the day.
I think we get 2 of these. We get a use.net. We get a .net publish. And a copy files.
See, chat, this is experienced senior development at work. And there's like,
Nonsense.
try something, spend 5-10 minutes on it, and then be like, forget it.
No, I'm doing something else. No,
we're waiting for the build. Copy paste. We're waiting for the build. Is that what we're doing?
And it looks like it's gotten further than publish, or it's on publish. Just now made it to publish. How annoying. And it says, I've also done one thing, reset a repo to nothing, and started up a generator project, which doesn't even generate one thing yet. Gomenasai. Feels bad, man.
Is that, yeah.
Gomenasai is sorry in Japanese.
Nice.
Gomen.
All I know about Japanese is Kaizen, which we cherish Kaizen and the Agile Scrum. You can't Kaizen your Kanban without Hansei, which I don't know if I'm pronouncing those words right.
No, Kaizen is definitely pronounced correctly. I didn't.
Kanban's definitely that.
Really?
At least the English.
Yeah. That's awesome. Business philosophy that focuses on continuous improvement.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we had it died a while ago, but we had every few Fridays we would do a continuous improvement day of our things, of ourselves or our code base, and we called it KDD, which ended up being, it was not Kaizen driven development, but Kaizen dump day.
Isn't KDD a current Linux distribution?
KDE is the window manager. Actually, I don't know what a window manager is. That's a real talk. But there is something called KDE. Look, I know all the nouns. If you ask me to define them, I don't know anything. So.
Insert duck sound. There.
Nice. Welcome, Duca. Emerging from the shadows.
Anna said, oh, I'm still in my undiagnosed ADHD developer phase. Solve one thing. Wait, no. I need this one other thing first. Oh, wait. That other thing is also important. That's kind of what I'm doing right now. But I mean, I'm allowed to since I'm not really technically on the clock. Published. Since we are doing Community Day, and I want to focus on doing Community Day. Oh
Look
my
at that.
gosh. Oh, thank goodness.
We're done for the day. We are done for the day.
Wait, I had a pending release today. Another build was successful.
Bam!
What? The .NET 8 build? Is that what you are?
I was gonna say, do you like just make sure you either undo it or
That's
do
.NET
it,
6.
but intentionally. Just whatever you do, do it intentionally. You know what I'm saying.
I will intentionally I can't even say the word, intentionally reject that one. And gosh, you know what, we're going to intentionally deploy because it only takes a couple seconds, and if anyone is in the middle of work, it's nothing that's like gonna lose data. But they usually don't work on Fridays. And Dukasoft is officially on holiday, but he can't seem to relax though.
Well, nothing's more relaxing than watching us troubleshoot continuous integration pipelines.
What are you doing?
Might be relaxing. Might be relaxing.
And it deployed. And we'll see if I broke anything.
Do you ever like wish you had browser automation for clicking a button and like test my web pages for me? And then
yes, I do.
Do you ever
really,
like
really do.
act on that urge, or just like, oh, you have ArcGIS, screw it, forget that.
Make sure that when you click this button and click somewhere on the map, nope, definitely not testing that. But I've been wanting to use Playwright to at least click through the tabs, make sure that the content loads the way that it's supposed to. Maybe I don't know how to get it to manually load this. I guess this section here is usable. So if I knew a well number that always had data that I could rely on, I could have it click through that.
I guess.
Just give me some.
Okay. Anna says, gives Duca some pertinent advice. I'm going to leave it alone. At least it's not WordPress. And then the smug Irish John emoji. Oh, it is actually called smug. By the way, that is a well-named emoji because that is a very smug picture. So the fact that it's named Irish John Smug.
PHP developer has been paying attention. So any advice for finding clients? Isn't this client from your previous job? You are absolutely right. Or 2 jobs ago, sorry. My previous job, I was working for a large consulting firm for a large manufacturer with a client. Their client was a large computer manufacturing company, and I was doing UI work for them, and I guess functionality stuff too. Yeah. Anyway, but I was working at this site at the Rocky Mountain Arsenal before that job, and now I am working directly for the prime contractor at the Rocky Mountain Arsenal, as opposed to through a consulting company. And I try to distinguish those because the consulting firm is large corporation. I think it was something like 3,000 US employees and 300,000 worldwide employees. Some big number. Deployed a reduction. Oh, failed because I told it not to. Oh, man, and one of the chirps just triggered my tinnitus.
Oh.
So now it's like super dry. Okay.
By the way, this is like folk medicine, but like there are a lot of home remedies for, you called it, it's tinnitus. It has to be
I
called
mean,
that.
that's how I used to pronounce it. And then I was looking up how to help combat or at least diminish it a little bit. And
Yeah.
I hear everyone say tinnitus.
Ugh,
Yes.
that's, you've been
It's
affected
best.
by either the British or parallel universes. I don't know. Okay, so you've already looked up all the weird stuff because there's like apps on the iPhone.
Mhm, mhm. White noise apps are supposed to help. Some spoon trick where you have it underneath your ear so that you tap
Okay,
it at a certain frequency.
you're definitely on it. So you're way
Dumping
ahead of
olive
me.
oil into your ear. No.
Okay.
That one's not a thing. But do you have I guess so, like, I'm not very good at looking for clients myself, but if I were to look for clients myself, um the way that I would do it is actually, I don't know, because what happens more often than not is I'll get contacted by a recruiter. I'll say I am currently self-employed and working with this existing client, and they're like, well, maybe they would be interested in hiring you 1099 or, direct contract kind of situation, as opposed to uh, direct hire slash full-time employee, whatever it's called, W2 in the US. Is this my app? This is one of the many applications that I manage for the Rocky Mountain Arsenal. Here's a list of my projects that I have created in Azure DevOps, and like 8, I think we counted, are web apps that I manage. One is still a desktop app that I'm converting into, or that I'm integrating into another web application. Yeah, yes, please.
Is
Good.
this where'd you get, well, this is Azure DevOps. Now I'm like, yeah, let's roast this app, but I'm looking at Azure DevOps, which is not your app.
You
Like,
can
did you
roast it.
start with Bootstrap or whatever? Tailwind?
Tailwind. Actually, let's ask them. Uh, I never remember whether it's inspector
Well, not then,
resource.
but yeah, well, they, I'm sure at this point, have customized it for a very
Yeah,
dumb reason.
yeah.
Maybe not. They have palette primary. I don't. They've got. That's dumb. You should just.
Yeah, that's a lot to read through to find out. Doesn't really matter, does it? Does it? Just get shady CN or something, or a template. No, I mean, like, the
Nope.
thing about these applications is that they existed before I got here. The users are expecting them to appear in a certain way, and so I tried to stay true to what they were expecting. You'll see that a lot of the applications look like they were created in
Oh,
1998 or so.
the R track logo is brutal, but I love
Yeah,
it. That's
and
that's honest. That's real.
so this
Oh,
application, I just straight ported over. I kept their styling, their UI. I did enhance it a little bit so that
that is brutally ugly. That's clearly like a PowerPoint picture back when we had resolutions of 1024 by 768. That's what that one looks like. Maybe that's a 640 by 480.
Mm.
Like
So
they made it a PowerPoint though. Good for them. Or Paint Shop. Remember
yes,
Paint Shop?
Paint Shop Pro. Oh, man.
I
This
read
is
this
an
book.
application that I did design myself. It was my first real attempt
Yeah, this
at
one
doing
looks
a
nice.
full design. Um,
Yeah. I will say the colors, like I don't, everything's great except I don't like the colors. I think they're too
really,
strong.
really.
I would say
Then
white.
I'll give you the light mode version.
All right, did that. There's still the table is not light
Yeah,
mode.
I don't. I didn't really implement light mode very well because I didn't think
Okay.
anyone would use it. Like even the links, I didn't update the colors for the
Okay.
links.
I'll leave it alone. Everything's left alone. But I will also say, like, every dark mode app just looks weird unless if you're already used to those colors. So everything looks jarring to me that's in dark mode. I will also say I'm a light mode, or how do I say this carefully? I am a leave it whatever it is person. So terminals black background, VS Code is whatever their weird color is background. Visual Studio's dark. And
You just made Anna shudder.
uh-oh.
Was
I'm
Steve
light
Jobs
mode,
not
yeah.
born in this universe or something?
Yeah, yeah, you're getting roasted.
You want me to do Apple designs?
No.
Okay, how about this?
Look, you're starting with a table of tabulated data, so like, it doesn't matter, man.
I'm not logged in.
Don't try and like make a modern web app out of that table of data that has like code and jargon in there. Like, just give them the good stuff. The good stuff is the data. I don't know.
Right. I forgot that from that wonderful day when I shared my password with everyone,
Nice.
I went through and did a whole bunch of password updates for all of my accounts. So that includes Figma.
I'm trying to think, what do I actually end up using in light mode? The browser is the primary one. And yeah, Discord's dark. Slack is light mode by default. Or it's kind of both. Slack is like maroon on the left and then white. I don't know. Yeah, Anna says Apple only uses a tiny percent of the screen. And you don't have to be Apple's extreme aesthetic, but you can, like, y'all need to understand, like, get 1,000 users before you worry about this stuff. Like, get 100 users.
Yeah, and I have like a handful.
Yeah, he just needs it to work and those people to know how to do the work they do. And the fact that it's a fast website is already like probably winning the most effective arguments, period.
So Zons in 20
It's easy.
no,
Get a job.
It's easy.
That's how it's on.
And when I was working for that other company, the application that I was working on, that I was updating the UI for based off of someone else's design that I was just following, was international, used worldwide on all of the manufacturer's PCs. So it comes pre-installed on that manufacturer's PC. So that's one way to get a whole bunch of users. Work for, or at least have a large OEM that needs software as a client. Both a boomer and a Gen Alpha spirit.
Yeah.
What is Gen Alpha?
Oh, hey, bet you didn't know how old you are. Gen X is not. It's Gen X, then millennials, and then if they're in their 20s, I think they're Gen Z, something like that. And then
yeah, and I think
the
millennials are
below
just
that.
Gen Y, right?
I guess. Yeah, but like, look, we have a fun name for them, so you know, get stuffed in a locker, millennial. That's what we're calling you.
So,
anyway,
just to semi-redeem myself, this is the redesign that we did on the Stream app that we were working on while I was working for the other company and I couldn't stream my day job. So I have gained some UI design skills. Not very much, but yeah, this is it. This is where we're at. I'm leaving it at that. Because right now all of my RMA apps are interesting. This was my redesign of RMA water, which is what it looks like now.
Okay, it's better. It's better.
Hey, this one's light mode was actually implemented, wasn't it? Yes. Yes, it was. Oh, so bright. Okay, point is, I fixed a bug.
Also, and by the way, this isn't like an intentional diss, but I'm going to call him Fuel Snable again, just because that's how I read it aloud. I'm reading the letters and I'm like, it's Fuel's here. So hello, mispronounced name.
You're allowed.
No, if I do roast you later, it will be personalized. This was not a personalized roast.
So what chat did I miss? Do I like Dynamics 365? I haven't used it.
Sounds horrible. Zons, that's the Microsoft CRM and ERP. So competitors to Salesforce and SAP, depending on what you're using. And it was an old, it was one of the offerings at the old consulting company. Compared to, you might have gotten roped into that at one point. You were at risk. I'll put it that way. You were at risk being roped into dynamic CRM projects. So just, there's a certain kind of development. And like customizing enterprise, like consulting ware type things, you can, people say you can make money, but I would bet if you put that effort into your Elite Code score, learning like a few programming languages, doing the studying that they tell you to do, you could probably get a better job than those. I would not, like the old days of like, hey, you could make a lot of money off of SAP. Like, I think you can do better at Facebook. Zons has a question.
What is it? I seem like I like onion architecture. I don't purposefully do any specific architecture. I don't even know how to define onion architecture, and even if you told me, I would most likely forget, because I don't really care about that as much as I care about being consistent with the way I do stuff. But that wasn't your question. What is your question?
Typing. Trying to figure out a mispronunciation of Zones' name.
Pushes. No, pull request is what I'm looking for. I cannot brain anything right now. Completed.
I don't know what liquid base is. Oh, sorry, I'm interrupting.
No, you're good.
So Zones has typed it. I don't know what liquid base is. I've used DBUp, and you will see everyone else in the world using DB migrations in Entity Framework. I like DBUp. Use them.
I'm one of those many millions of people that uses Entity Framework migrations.
What do you mean, Zones? You want a custom trigger? You just deploy it as the first step of your deployment. And I did the thing where I said just. By the way, if you give tech advice and you hear someone complaining about you saying to just do something, they're correct, because it's super annoying. Apparently, I've been told. And I am guilty of it. So feel free to roast me.
Just use
So Zones, you can do all that in your standard deployment, right? Depends on where you're deploying from.
Yeah. So like if you're using Entity Framework specifically, then part of the pipeline is apply migrations.
And Zones, we haven't said something specifically, which is at least for me, the last 2 places or 2.5, like we have made a console app and run DB up from there or equivalent. I think we use Fluent Migrations. We've also used a few other things. Actually, no, I think that's it. But you make a console app, have it called DB up, and then you put that in your deployment pipeline. And it's a little bit of a hassle, like whereas you were packaging up maybe one website package, now you have to package up a website package and this DB migration thing, and then unroll. Anyway, you see what I'm saying. You have to deploy it, but it does. It's nice. All right, I'm reading all of Fuel's things quietly.
Okay, I'll read them out loud then. Snapple said, we don't use EF migrations, but we developed something that works similar. We apply SQL scripts in order and retries if it doesn't work. It's kind of complicated machinery, so I recommend using EF migrations, updating DB and C in CD, continuous deployment, Brave. I wonder if you can just use the EF migrations. Otherwise, I guess you do what we have done, rule your own, complete with retries and so on. I don't recommend it, but that's what we do.
And I do recommend DB up. We used it, it worked great. We even did some weird things. We had all of our stored procedures and views and all those kind of things. We had them run on every run of the migrations with a create or alter script. And what that would do is it would update these big stored procedures, but it wouldn't make us write a new file every time. So we could say, get invoices, stored procedure, and it would say create or alter stored procedure, get invoices. And the reason I'm saying that, you could update like one line of code and have it actually appear in Git as one line of code. And given how hard SQL is in general, it was good. All right, what do we got? Fuel, the good ERP softwares of 90 had much cooler upgrade tech. Fuel, that is heresy. Nothing good about ERP products may be spoken in this stream. I'm establishing a rule.
You laid down the law.
So there's something. I follow a guy on Twitter, Aaron Stannard. We've talked. But he is the Akka.net guy, and he talked about using something called a DAC pack, DACPAC. I will type it in chat. DAC pack. Okay. I have to put a letter in front of it because a dot at the beginning of a chat. So he uses those, and I think that's the diffing you're talking about, Fuel, right? Like, the old entity framework, I don't know what they called it. No, it was a DB project. That's right. You had to pay for Visual Studio Pro, and you could run DB projects, but only some people with Pro could do it. Or was it Enterprise? I think it was just Pro. There used to be 3 tiers of paid Visual Studio. So anyway, it was horrific to us.
There are still
three.
Yeah, Community, Pro, and Enterprise. Wow. Yes,
but Community isn't paid. It's
true. So there are 2 paid tiers.
Yeah, I think there were 3. I'm crazy, y'all. I'm crazy. I don't know.
Okay, you're welcome here. You're allowed to be crazy.
So Fuel, the key is you escape the ERP software. That is the most important thing. By the way, I may have to leave if I get a call. I haven't.
Say it ain't so.
But I will. It'll be abrupt. So anyway, do you get nervous answering the phone? Like, I feel like I
don't answer the phone.
Okay.
Not a thing I do. I don't use my phone for that.
do y'all have voice calls from your work? Like, I feel like if someone rings me up, I feel like this urgent need to
Run away.
not no. I need to pick up, and it's not an anxiety about talking to
Oh yeah,
someone on the
that's how I
phone.
feel about notifications. I
Yeah,
have to respond to it immediately.
yeah. What do you guys do on Discord?
Huh?
That's Zones. You gotta.
I'm not
You
exactly
know
sure.
what? You have to work a job that's like. This. I'm just speaking from experience. My own experience was I was scared talking on the phone, but I got it burned out of me because my first data entry job, I actually had to call people for various reasons all day. And so I had this anxiety and it was just seared out of me through scars. And now I'm emotionally damaged. But no, I'm not. I actually have no anxiety answering. I also say if someone calls you without telling you why, that's brutal. Like I always ask, hey, I hate chatting. Can we talk? Because I
That's
am.
actually pretty powerful to be able to do that. I struggle with that a lot.
What to answer, not answer, or
Like,
do
well,
answer?
no, like if I'm on the phone with someone and they just start going off on whatever it is that they're wanting to talk about, that they're really calling for, which is telling me about their car or the weather or whatever. I'm like, I just go with it because I don't want to be rude and be like, do you have anything else work related that you wanted to discuss?
I'm probably that guy. Yeah, I'm probably that guy who randomly takes an opportunity to talk about the amazing college football games that were on
I
this
mean,
weekend.
I will definitely have conversations about. Oh man, what? I will have random conversations about things as long as they are semi-adjacent to work.
Mm.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff in chat.
Yeah, I was trying to I'm trying to configure the pipeline and read chat and listen to you.
I'll read
I'm like,
chat.
I just need to stop. I just need
What do
to.
you guys do on Discord? Post
I didn't
memes.
understand that.
Fuel doesn't answer phone. Duca's threatening to dox me. But it all in good fun. It's good. It's all in good fun. Spam.
You are so offensive, Netrunner. I can't believe you're late.
Yeah, that cough was for you. Just
Oh,
imagine it
yay.
landed on your face.
Yes.
Straight off
No,
cough
it
on the
is
face.
absolutely okay. You're never ever obligated to be here at a specific time. I don't want you to feel
Fuel
obligation.
says, I got over the anxiety. I think it's mostly age. I don't answer because of all the spam calls.
Mm-hmm.
So if I don't recognize the number, I don't answer. Some people you have to lead with something else. Yeah. You know, how's the fishing? How's the fishing going? Okay, hey man, I have work to do. Can't just sit around all day. Hurling more meaninglessness to my I'm just moving on.
I just
To
went
my
with whatever
existence.
the latest or whatever it defaulted to is what I meant to say.
And Netrunner is not sorry I'm late. Okay. That's what I'm reading. That's the official record now.
Does anyone know how I do this part?
Oh, sorry. What are we doing?
I'm trying to set the path to solution or packages, but for whatever reason, it's not an option in my pipeline.
That's the solution. Oh, is it a variable? Did you have it as a variable elsewhere?
No, because it's typeable. I can actually type this.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's in NuGet
finally
Restore. Interesting. Never mind. Blazor? No. I don't remember.
Fuel says dealing with my father's death and coordinating across all relatives. I learned some things like direct communication and lists. This is a funny part of your statement. Starting now. Others you can't send lists to because it freaks them out. Now that is funny to me. I understand, I think, but yeah, you need the organization, but then like you're saying, it freaks them out. What are you gonna do? That runner needs to get stuff done.
Why would you need to get stuff done?
Yeah, that's.
So you were apologizing to yourself.
Ah.
I see. Sorry, self. I wanted to get up earlier to get stuff done.
Zones says, who uses a Windows 2019 VM?
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't do a lot of stuff on purpose when it comes to this because I want to focus more on writing the application and logic and cleaning things up that way. This is just configuring something to do a deployment for me. I don't care if it uses Windows 2019 or 2022 or...
that's what you were picking. You were picking the agent.
I wasn't picking anything. I just let it stay at its default. I expanded it because I was like, wait.
There's and then Windows latest. I guess
yeah,
for
even then,
stability, you want to stick to a certain OS. Like Ubuntu latest, you can mostly trust will be fine.
Hey, shout out for Anna, who rated this earlier.
Nice. Chat, you've dried up. You must entertain us. That's how this works. You in chat must do your part.
Link.
I'm gonna look through the viewers list. Gonna call you out by name, especially the ones that look like bots. So, there's a suspicious account that's called Netrunner1987. That one's suspicious. There you go. Couldn't be a real person.
Mr. Roboto.
Yeah, Mr. Mike Roboto.
Donuts, arigato.
By the way, what you're doing right now, oh, they did have the templates that we couldn't find.
What? Where?
This is why we had templates you were clicking save on and couldn't find them later.
Yes. Yes.
Aside from the fact that there is a feature, like this is why YAML might be better.
True.
But again, you're getting it done. Get R done.
Yeah, and it's like I'm gonna need to be able to maintain this for all of the projects, and I want them to all be consistent. And the very first one that I did, YAML wasn't really an option. This was back in when Azure DevOps was VSTS, and we had a local Team Foundation server anyway. I mean Team Fortress server.
No, it is Team Foundation.
No, it's
Are you saying Team Fortress? All right, you're joking. I don't get jokes. I don't get jokes.
I don't either. It's okay. I'm not very good at delivering the jokes.
But they go like that's a pretty obvious one. But I think there was something called Source Fortress or something like that from Source Gear. And like it was back in the ancient days of what was CVS, not CVS. What was the Windows one? Visual Source Safe. There was a source code that no one used that like actually corrupted data. It was a great product, but they anyway, they made add-on product to it. You paid for this, by the way. You paid for it and it didn't work. Anyway, he made an add-on project to like
Yeah, source safe.
to expose source safe. You use it still, Netrunner. Never admit that in public. Never admit that ever in public.
They all knew what you were talking about.
Wow. We use Visual Source Safe for the COBOL code. Never admit that, Fuel. This is all right. Pension deal
Okay.
given to everyone 65. They were 673. Dang. Just Netrunner Git has one, and it's good enough. And there's so many UI front ends. And they even fix some of the most egregious things. GIT Git 73 Fuel.
Oh, I need to name it something.
So we talk about ageism, about being like showing up to an interview with a little bit of white hair, which I do at this point.
I have white hair somewhere.
Yeah, but
My beard.
not really. Not really.
I have a few strands.
Yeah. Beard, it goes first. So anyway, but like there is a real thing about ageism in the industry. It's not that bad for people like me, but you just be aware that, you know, you might be excluded from.
Ooh. I might be able to find. So like my grandfather, he had thick, dark black hair until the day he died.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. My dad, on the other hand, has receding hairline, thinning hair. But it is still mostly black. And he's in his 60s.
Fuel has posted the rage bait, but apparently it's real life. I got the question from a 27-year-old, but why would we hire someone that is above 40? And this is different countries, different rules. They shouldn't say that in the US, but like they might think it and just reject you without saying it. But again, for people like me, it's not that big of a deal. But like it's something to be aware of, that if you make it to a bunch of interviews, I will definitely say I've removed a lot of my experience off my resume. So it only lists the last 10 years of jobs. So
yeah, that's a big one.
Like, cause until this last job, which is this has been 7 years. It's been a while. Anyway, like I had the last version of my resume had my job from 2002. So,
what companies to be old and long-standing, not people? What? Oh, I can't find it. Doesn't matter. Man, this smoke detector.
we can't hear it. Or at
That's
least
good.
I can't.
It's good.
You can, yeah, you can survive. You found it though. It's just plugged in and still beeping.
Yeah, I
so
was
you don't
like,
have worse problems.
I needed to come back downstairs to start prepping the stream, but I was like starting to unscrew it from the ceiling so I could unplug it completely so it stopped chirping, but not enough time.
I'm always annoyed that, I guess that's fine. That's resiliency. Right,
I'm always annoyed, period. And then he goes off to say something else.
What I think is great about my current company, this Fuel, is that I am not the oldest. But now that people got pension deals, this is bad. Pension was the carrot. But what is the stick? That's what Netrunner said. Silently. It's in black text in chat if you highlight it. Fuel's novel says, I was quite arrogant when I was 27 too. Now I'm old and arrogant. Nice.
I
You
used to
said
be
older,
young
but
and
yeah.
arrogant.
Now I'm
Now
not young.
I'm old and arrogant.
Uh,
I'm both the youngest person and the oldest person in my company.
and has given up on pensions already. I hear you. I you'll understand fuel isn't in the USA, and pensions are pretty rare in my experience. Certain types of companies got them, and those companies do stack ranking, or they did. Anyway, a lot of firings. A lot of firings. So I wouldn't
That was,
bet
oh
on
man, that was one of the hardest things about working in HR.
firing
Yeah,
or stack
the
ranking.
reduction in force. Yeah. I think
Yeah.
that's what you're referring to
Yeah.
with stack ranking.
Stack ranking is specifically Microsoft used to do it, and it is credited removing the removal of stack ranking has been credited in places with their turnaround because they were kind of a not going anywhere as a company. Anyway, the point is you take 10 employees or whatever the number is, you then rank lowest 5%, and you you rank the rest of them and give the high-end bonuses, and then you fire the lowest X% every year, 5%. With 10 employees, maybe you fire the worst 1 or 2. I don't know. Every year. And then if you have a lot of good employees, you fire them anyway.
Jeez.
Every year. It's a pretty there's a lot of cutthroat behavior. It also is that
I'm
other
sure that
companies.
fosters a great and welcoming community.
Yes, like you
So
join a team
cooperative.
and your teammates are like competition. Otherwise, I'm gonna get fired. Like, it's brutal. Belgium pensioners' age will be 90 or so.
I need to step away for a quick second.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
Go ahead, but oh no.
Oh no.
You're in trouble, chat. He can hear me. The last few years when I land an interview, I wonder if this is the last time I'm able to do it because of ageism. And Fuel, we will be excluded from some jobs. That's just how it is, Fuel. Like, I don't think everyone cares. But it occurs to me that I will have to be aware of it and make sure not to sound like an old cranky dude in my interviews going forward. All right. Netrunner hoping to move to Thailand, work from there. You got dual citizenship. Okay. We're talking about stack ranking, I think. Fire the devs that lack brown nosing. Ex-CIO at the toy factory who would always say, "Who are we going to fire today?" That's insane. You have the worry. Actually, that's a good point, Fuel. It's not necessarily a belief, it's a worry. I gotcha. I read something similar in Netrunner where, and by the way, we do not have what's it called, picture resumes. And I'll say people put so little effort in my resume, like looking over it, that like I have like, hey, here's my GitHub, and I have not really had that many people actually look at anything. I had a blog back in the day, I had a GitHub, but no one cares for the most part, so they could find my portrait, but they're not going to. All right, what do we got? Is it beneficial to learn ASP.NET web forms nowadays? No. Magical Larry, if you can swing it, you get a job that doesn't have these ancient technologies. And hate to be a hater, but it's ancient. And then if you have to get a job with ancient technologies, you hopefully get them to train you on the job. That's the hope. And then if you can't do either of those things, then you end up customizing WordPress for a living and crying yourself to sleep every night. Welcome back.
I was going to say that was a fantastic answer. That was an amazing answer. So I wholeheartedly agree. Don't learn web forms. Learn it if you need to use it, but learn current.net.
And we should say something very clear. Larry, answer this simple question. Do you know the difference between web forms, ASP.NET Web Forms, and ASP.NET MVC, or just call it ASP.NET Core?
Yeah.
Are you aware there's a difference? If not, then maybe he asks a different question, if you know what I'm saying.
Do you know Razor Pages, difference between Razor Pages, Web Forms, and MVC, and Blazor, I guess. May as well throw that in there. Yeah, and Thindle worked in web forms. I think he's mostly done with it now. Everything is upgraded, but there's nothing except for web.
I mean, but some people might be meaning to say ASP.NET and they just added the web forms.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, like, is there a reason to learn .NET web development nowadays? That could have been the question.
Yep.
So, is that what you actually meant, Larry?
Or
welcome in, by the
just
way.
go completely AFK. Oh, sorry. I'm shocked that my undergraduate course includes web forms. Okay,
Wait, really?
So it is web forms. Yeah, there's a lot of like garbage college programs. I'm sorry, Larry. Go to a better university.
Curriculum.
I've seen a lot of it. When I was in college, there was a lot of like garbage. A lot of the intro computer courses were like, I remember one of them asked about like, it was quizzing on the fact that there was a VESA local bus, which was like an obscure video card thing that only mattered for like a few years when I was 5 years from college, and then it disappeared, and then I showed up later and one of my friends is studying it for a quiz. Brutal. A lot of useless knowledge.
I have no idea how to search for this. Not right now.
It's for the best.
Yeah.
For the best.
But that's crazy. Yeah, when I was at university back in 2000, it was C, C++, and then our web technologies were PHP or just straight HTML and JavaScript.
Larry.
Or JSP.
Oh, goodness. No. I'm hating, but C# Basics, Web Forms, and ADO.NET. Web Forms is mostly... ADO.NET, I'm actually kind of okay with, because you kind of should know what's happening.
I guess, yeah, true.
As long as they're not introducing like data sets. What are those data sets and data tables?
I mean, I'm using data set. And
boo.
But how would you do it?
I don't know. I have a visceral reaction. I was actually trained back in the day. I took a 3-day course on it, and it was so bad. The training was bad, but it was Microsoft training. But it was like typed data sets. It was completely forms driven, like nothing's in code. Like, man, we have it so good nowadays. You can actually commit your source to a source control system that doesn't lose your data. Imagine that. That's those you
Weird.
Can't even make those assumptions back in the day.
Yeah. If it helps any, I started with DAO.
Oh, me too, man. And there was ADO in Access, right? It was ActiveX data objects.
Yeah, but I never used that because of DLL references and all that, and requiring it to be on the user's computer.
Man, good times.
Ooh, TBD's here.
TBD is here. Good, because we're drying up on topics. We are talking about
2, 1. And then I wait. And then I pull him. Okay, go ahead.
See, you're
Peter.
lying to us. No,
No.
word. You say words.
Hello. These are words.
No, you say words. How were your meetings? That was a really short meeting.
I figured I'd come and talk to some sane people.
Oh,
Good luck with that.
I want to keep looking. Yeah, keep looking.
We're meeting on how to present unit testing to a bunch of developers that couldn't do unit testing to save their lives right now. So,
Can you pair? I have strong thoughts on this. I would love this as a job opportunity. If I could teach people to do like coaching, but like exclusively through pairing. Like just, I'll sit at your desk. We're going to write tests. I'll just, anyway, that's it. Just pairing.
there's no pairing opportunities, unfortunately. Developers are kind of not encouraged to do that at the organizational level, so it's, yeah.
How does that look?
How's well look?
T unit,
Bunnet.
unless
Like Bunnet.
is that really a testing framework though? It is. I thought you just made that up.
Currency speed.
Oh, they have a. I have another rant. This is rant number 2 for the day.
Uh-oh.
The only asserts I use are like assert true, assert is equal, and then in unit they have collection assert, which no one ever uses, but I do.
Which they have in
Well, no one
X unit.
uses it. I bet they have it, but like, yeah. Oh, you actually use it. Are you pointing at somewhere where you're using it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I know where it is. Well, I mean, like, I'm still gonna call myself a baby in testing.
Okay.
I have no idea if I'm even doing testing the right way ever.
Here's a secret. Nobody else does either.
But my whole point is like, I guess I've used those the ones where you set up a bunch of different data inputs. I'm sorry, I'm thinking, I cannot remember the name, where you say this test takes 2 parameters. I'm going to fill it in with these 10 test cases.
Like theories and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, that like that's it. As long as your test thing can do that, great. And if it can't, you still can get the job done. Like, it just doesn't matter. I don't know why people keep inventing stuff. Like, when X Unit came out, I was like, why do you care? Why do you even care about X Unit? And X Unit has kind of won, so I'll use that. I don't care. But yeah, you end up with assert equal. And then in unit, you have assert R equal. And then in B unit, I forgot what it was. And, I don't know. Now, T unit, we need a new one. And JavaScript is worse, by the way, because they've done this all in the span of like 10 years. They went from Jasmine, which was great in my mind. Then they had Jest. Then they had Mocha Chai first. Then Jest. And now there's a 4th one that is just a testing. And it's like getting traction. It makes me sad. People say things like, oh, that makes me tired, but it just makes me sad. I'm not tired, just full of rage and sadness. So, It's faster,
Fair.
basically. Is that
Jeez.
a startup time, Anna? Can you keep like? I can see faster matters, but like it only matters at the startup time because .NET has brutally slow test runs.
So I mean, to me, unit testing, it'd have to be a lot of tests to be valid for like speed there. But when you're moving it to things like acceptance and integration testing, where the scope of the test is wider, then I can see the speed matters a bit more. So if it's more the broad use of unit testing frameworks or
For me,
testing
it's like
frameworks.
it's time to finish. Like you press run and you wait. How long is this taking? Well, these are the worst maybe options. But what I'm saying is like just running like a single test that says hello world or whatever, assert true, well takes like several seconds. So you can always hope that someone has figured out a way to get that down. Get that time from like I want to run a test to where I'm seeing a green or blue, a red result, and just hopefully they figured that out. Because yes, other ecosystems are faster, or you could be Java and it's probably horribly slow. So. All right, what do we got?
We have a question from Larry asking, would I be able to transition to .NET Core? How hard would it be? First of all, transition from what? If ASP Classic web forms, it would take a bit. .NET Framework, not as hard, but there are quite a few changes between .NET Framework to .NET Core, especially if we're talking 4.5 or 4.6. But yeah. Do you guys have any thoughts on that?
Larry, if you're in college class, just survive and move on. And just know that the new .NET Core stuff is significantly better and easier to work with. How about that as an answer?
4.7. I mean, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there, Colin.
It's good. We're good.
I was going to say it says 4.7, so framework to .NET Core depends on what you've built in it. Right? If you've got
also, is it a web app? Is it
if you've got WinForms and a bunch of APIs, then that's going to be quite a struggle. But if it's just a
I mean, since I still have this open, I have a solution. Well, I have two versions of this. One that's .NET 6, one that's .NET 8, but they're both referencing, or not even referencing, they both utilize this .NET Framework project called Chart API. And the reason this is still .NET Framework is because one of the things that it uses in the library is system.web.ui.data visualization.charting that went away in .NET Core, no longer available. So that's one of those situations where, yes, it's kind of difficult to upgrade this project without needing to do a complete rewrite of the charting system. Versus the original applications themselves were JSP, but they were .NET Framework 4.7.2 applications that I turned into Blazor apps, and they took about 2 to 3 months each to do that.
Try and do it.
It's worth doing, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's the way forward. If you're trying to upgrade your college assignments that must be in web forms, you're going to have to stay in .NET Framework because web forms works in Framework and not in .NET Core, if I'm right. Wish me luck, fellas.
ASP Classic as well. Depends on how far back you want to go with web form.
What else do we got? Welcome TBD.
Yes, classic ASP. So yeah, speaking of TBD, if you guys don't know TBD, How's that for a segue? He's a great streamer. I don't know if we've shouted you out recently. Okay, good. But he's working on an application called Liquid Sky. So you see me working in Azure DevOps, but again, I'm a solo developer, and we have these boards and stuff that kind of dictate my work. And even when I was working on a team, they were kind of how we assigned work, but it's still not very intuitive. As a developer, I'm seeing way too many details that I don't care about. And then my project manager was trying to do too much in the development realm and put his hands where they shouldn't be. But TVD's app is geared towards separating those things, but also making them work together a lot better. It's going to be awesome. So he already has a test version out for subscribers to his channel. If you want access to it, go and subscribe. Yeah. Sold.
That's not a deliberate paywall. That's more of a reward to those people who
Trust
support
wall.
it, rather than and a control around people just playing with it. So it doesn't. You have to have permissions manually added. So even if you go to the URL and sign up, it's not going to do you very much. But as the app gets more stable, then open it up. Yeah, the idea of it is to allow you to kind of focus on the tasks you want to work on, without worrying about how it fits into the bigger picture, and all the planning and stuff is kept separate. Tis the goal.
I do hope you get more PM or PM type people, PM oriented people to test out your app, because I'm definitely just how could I use this as a solo developer, or if I was going to have a small team, I guess, instead of maybe someone that manages multiple teams and each team has multiple projects, or just one project per team, or mix and match.
Yeah. It's ever the challenge of getting feedback on applications as well. Like, how do you get useful feedback, and how do you decide to action on the feedback as well? That's going to be something I'm going to learn a bit more about as I go through this process, because I might have some idea as to where the software is going and what I want to happen, but things rarely go the way you want them to go 100%, right? So it's learning all the little quirks of pumping it up.
So
no.
Team Fuel. Yes. I know what your own no is about. Disambiguation.
Yep, that's exactly it.
But Team Fuel is asking, what project are you currently working on? So right now we are currently doing Community Day, but once we get back to my regular work day, which I'm not going to go back to my regular work day today, I'm going to go buy a 9-volt battery so I can stop going crazy. But on Monday, we'll be back to working on the data import utility, which is almost done. I'm going to deploy a version of it to the test server, and then have the user go through and try it out. And that's how I get my feedback, by the way, TBD. I deploy the app and I say, hey users, go try it. Tell me if you find anything wrong.
Yeah. Like, you've got an app that you're doing that with. That's you've got an app that you've been asked to do. You built to spec. You're asking them now to test it based upon the spec you got. Whether that spec is loose or not is another question.
It's very loose.
Yeah, a loose spec.
We needed to do this. We needed to
do this, and then you don't know how
Excel
to differentiate. Yeah, you don't know how to differentiate between, okay, that's valid feedback, and that's not really what you want.
Right.
By the way,
I want to use a
call him
TSV
Team Fail. That's who.
Team Fail.
Which is short for Team Failure. That's how, because Fuel is going to show up more frequently than Team Fail.
How do you know?
I am scaring. I'm in the process of scaring them off for no good reason.
It's okay. I have my disclaimer.
Okay.
Note that their opinions are their opinions and not necessarily representative of the opinions of this channel or its streamer. which just frees you guys up to say whatever you want. I don't know what I'm clicking around. So, by the way, the thing that you're seeing on the screen right now is that tool, and I'm not really trying to do anything with it. I had Copilot just generate this test, and it doesn't look like it's a good test, but I'll figure that out later.
Yeah, that seems. I don't like most people's tests, so anyway, so it's going to be hard to get consensus. Anyway, try not to be a hater, but I am deep in my heart. I'm just a natural hater. Sorry, y'all. Validation logic. See, this is where I'd like to have voice dictation, where you're carefully typing it out, but like, just let me blather. You know, let me blather and just say some words and see what comes out. Because I've learned, like, voice transcription, they kind of can pick out the words if it's a synonym or whatever. So, I don't know. Y'all are quiet. Oh, there we go. Good. By the way,
I was
used
nodding
to have...
because you can't see my visual when I'm nodding in agreement with what you're saying.
Yeah. I had hardware problems with this headset. And it would lose sound quietly. I guess that's the nature of all loss of sound, is quietly. But it would lose sound without having any indication, except that I was probably interrupting people more than usual. So y'all are trying to get people to adopt unit tests, but they're too afraid to share, like basically pair with someone. I understand. I've worked with a lot of people like that.
It's not just pairing, it's the code base that we're trying to introduce unit tests into. When you've got, you know, classes that are built as basically just function repositories. There's lots of statics in there. There's lots of, you know, of static calls. The code is not in a place to be unit tested. It needs refactoring, and there's methods with side effects all over the place. Telling people now write unit tests isn't just as simple as saying, you know, just take the code and write unit tests. It's simple, right? It's okay. Understanding the code you're working in, how do you refactor it? How do you pull it out to make it testable? And how do we move towards that future? And I scare a lot of people because I'm a little bit more atomic in my approach, in that I just go in as one of a few developers who are super confident in the code and just start pulling the pieces out. Right, I go into the engine and start pulling all the parts out without even worrying about too much. You know, I just be like, yeah, that hose isn't needed. Let's pull it out, right? And I'd be a little bit more aggressive in my approach to try and get it into a better place. But the developers, I was looking at a screen the other day, and the screen opens, and calls all the data for every single part of the screen, including the tabs, right? So I say, why don't we just not load everything when we open the screen? Because when you click on the tab, it loads the data anyway. But you're doing it so it's preloaded, and then you don't see the pop-in if it has any extra data. Like, why don't we just put a loading spinner on the screen? So if they don't, so this one screen, or this one tab in this screen takes 8 seconds to load. So the screen, when the pop-up happens, it takes 8 seconds to load because it's the cost of that one tab. And I got so much pushback, and well, we can't do that because what about this data? And we think this data is related to that data, and this is here. And what if you do remove that? Then this other calculation won't be done properly. There's just utter fear about the entire code. So it's
yeah. That's me. I am the
Yeah.
fearful man. By the way, I just saw line 105. Like, I'm happy they use pattern matching, but that should be an assert equal.
Yes.
Line 105.
Yes. You're absolutely right.
Like, but I mean,
And again, this was one of those situations where I was just, well, maybe. So what you're saying is this should actually be 2 lines. Assert null, not null. Because that's what this is doing. It's doing a both null check and.
Is that what it's doing? But that's
so that error messages is not null and has a count that's greater than.
It's
0.
And you should know how many error messages you have.
Right. And equal 1 error messages dot count.
And I will also say
2.
You should know
ahead,
either way. I do want to say
know.
I'm nitpicking over the thing I understand, but yeah, I don't think.
No, that's good. I'll take it.
I don't know if I know these things are useful. By the way, when I talk about speed, this is what I'm talking about. 1/1000, 2. Okay. It did say it took
176 milliseconds.
No, but it, like from the moment you clicked run,
and
it was a solid 2-3 seconds. So like, yes, the test run took 100 whatever, but like the full run of all the tests and compiling took several seconds. And this is on a reasonably small project.
Mm-hmm. True.
Fuel says, and your Fuel, by the way, they had an imposter in here. But don't worry, we will call Team Failure who they are. They know who that's who they are. Anyway, Fuel's back. My prediction, C# pattern matching specification will be greater than the rest of the language. And I can't accept slow starting test runners. And maybe Anna will get back to us about slow test runners. Maybe that is an improvement in T unit. If so, great.
I mean, it said something about better concurrency, which means that at least more tests will be able to run simultaneously or something. I don't know. I didn't really get it.
N.
Oh.
Okay. That's what it is.
Right.
That's what it is.
Because I do have other validation on other fields, and the only ones that I was testing were the 2 required fields.
Man, we're at time. I would love to spend some time talking about test data setup, which again, I'm different. But in summary, just you're missing all this data, right? What I like to do is make a simple C# method that says create this object, the stuff you're creating at like line 80-ish. And you say, here's a method, here's what I want, and you have no parameters by default. And it just fills in a valid object. And it fills in everything. Because you're running into this right now. You're like, oh, it's validating all these things I didn't want it to.
Right.
So that is by default. That's what it gives you, is a valid object, or reasonably valid.
Yes. Yes.
And then
Agreed.
you can have C# optional parameters that say, hey, I want it named this, or you don't even have to do it with C# optional parameters. You can do the thing where you call it and it gives you a valid object, and then you start tweaking it in your test setup, where you say, set the name to empty, set the name to null, and then you have your test case. But that's my whole concept of like once you get one of those methods for most of the objects in your system, you can use them everywhere. You could use them not only for tests in this class, but elsewhere. And this is crazy. I'm going to blow y'all's minds. Because what we are taught is to build code that's orthogonal, where you can work in one set of the code base without knowing about the rest of it. And that is true. However, up to a point. having useful test builders, or what they call the object mothers, for these objects, and generating kind of like valid by default test data and then tweaking it in places, it can save you a ton of time. It can save you, and it makes your tests more effective. And you get the fun of refactoring. You get to take that line 180-ish and then blow it away and refactor it into a method. Do it a bunch of times. It's a lot of fun.
Which I just did.
And by the way, I'm rambling, and Napalm for the first time has shown up. Where were you? Okay. Just wanted to pop in and visit everyone who celebrated a good holiday and break out of office till 2025. He might pop in for streams. Anna says it's better at concurrently running a heap of tests and setting and disposing the test data before and after a test. I get that, I think, but can't come up with a good way to do nice. XUnit thing that uses the advantages that TUnit offers in a context that I'm currently working on. Haha. Well, haha indeed. All right, y'all. It is time. It is well past time. This has been a long stand-up. You know what I'm gonna say.
We didn't even start stand-up yet.
This has been a long stand-up. We got a lot of good things done. Don't forget, we fixed that CI thing, and we are done for the day. I'm gonna log off immediately after this stand-up. But I will also say I'm gonna do a surprise 6 to 8 week vacation starting after this stand-up. No blockers.
Zoom. All right, TBD.
How do you follow that?
Yeah.
So this week, up and downs with Liquid Sky deployment woes, just trying to learn my way through things as I go. But overall, getting things working there. Trying to figure out how to get the Kafka topics to survive a restart. Otherwise, the application won't work properly. If the topics don't exist, things don't work, and then data gets created out of sequence, and you have to restart everything. So it's a mess. But so that's my only blocker. But it's just a case of persevering and getting there. So yeah, on to next week, and streams Monday, probably Tuesday, because I'm not working on Tuesday morning. But yeah, no breaks for me. So other than Christmas Day. So thank you. That's me.
So same. Awesome.
Thank you as always.
And same. And for me, I am going to continue working on the data import utility. I would stream it, but my smoke detector is driving me crazy, so I'm going to go buy a battery instead, and then come back and then finish my workday. And I don't have any blockers because I just finished the fix for the other issue that the user came up with or brought up, and deployed it and tested it, and it's working as expected. So yeah, that's gonna be it for me as well. Wait, he actually left. He's learning from you, Peter. I do want to read some of the more recent chat, because I saw some extra chat that we didn't read out loud that we haven't seen. I mean, I've been doing really terrible at being able to read chat on community days anyway, but thankfully all of the people that do join us have been just so helpful and amazing. Great people. So thank you, Peter. Thank you, TBD, for hanging out. I will not call you Team Fail, by the way. I will call you Team Fuel. And I will call Snobble Foolish Snobble or Snobble. Let's see. This was the prediction that C# pattern matching can't accept starting test. Netrunner was saying we have an off-the-shelf application that has a search function where you can click search without requiring any input and locks the database and everyone else's user experience, while it returns all candidates and no way to cancel it. Jeez. That doesn't sound great. Is it DT search? Snabble said, I think the starting and run a single test should be instant. Oh, I think that. It might be, but don't you need a compiled application to run the test on? Or do you think that the test should always have a cached compiled version to run on all the time? Because then it could get stale. It's one of those eventually consistent things. Anyway, Napalm, Peter did read out your message. I don't remember, Fana, if Peter read out your message. It's better at concurrently running. Yes, he did. He did. Can't come up with a good way to do a nice X unit versus T unit that uses the advantages that T unit offers in a context that I'm currently working on. Yeah, like I've gotten familiar with X unit syntax, even though it's not super different from N unit, but there are enough differences that I would probably need to spend a month, hyperbole, a long time on. Netrunner saying, have a great weekend. Napalm said, haven't been in much because AWS SAA studying. Definitely understand. Is absorbing my time. Why they make you take the whole exam every 3 years, I don't know. Like, at least with my Security Plus certification, you just need to pay money and do training every 3 years or over the course of 3 years. But yeah, I don't want to have to take a whole test from scratch again, ever again. It's all a BIT. Oh, a bit, a comedy bit. Okay, all right. Capitalized words. No one should learn from me. Yes, they should. I barely use grammar in chats. Wrote a custom policy to handle dumb 200s with response body errors studying AWS SAA vacation today. No blockers. Thank you. Thank you so much for your stand up. By the way, I didn't actually invite anyone else. So if you are new here, we typically do stand up at the end of the stream, at the end of Community Day stream. And so it's just kind of a way, like as a solo developer, I don't participate in stand-ups anymore. Thank goodness. And I hadn't before my previous job. I hadn't ever done a stand-up before my previous job. So I just thought it would be kind of fun to have a stand-up at the end of the stream. And yeah, so you're always welcome to post your own stand-up at any time during the stream, but post at the end of the stream for Community Day streams. Yeah. And he did. To be fair, the docs on T unit are 100% better than those for X unit. There's docs for X unit. I believe there is a particular emote that is relevant for my situation on testing frameworks specifically. I just don't. It's not something I do. Anyway. Madness. So that is it for my time. I am going to go to the store, as I mentioned, so that I can get a 9-volt battery to make my smoke detector stop beeping or chirping so that I can get more work done. You have no idea how enraging it is. Okay, but thank you all for being here. I will be back again on Monday at 9:30 a.m. Mountain Time. I need to end my stream at 12:30 because I'll have a meeting with the new employee again on Monday at 1 o'clock my time. I think it's 1 o'clock. So TBD Gamer says, thank you for the stream. Thank you for being awesome. Have a great weekend. I really, really appreciate you saying that. I may not agree, but it's your opinion and you're allowed to have it. Nice shot. We're gonna raid out to BitGimme. So hang out if you feel like it. We're gonna head over to his stream and chill with him. I have no idea for how much longer he'll be streaming today. He usually ends like just about the same time that I do. but we'll be hanging out with him. So yeah, until the next time I see you, I hope you enjoy. Okay. I'm copying the duck. Okay. Anyway, ciao for now. Again, we'll have a vote one day as to whether or not this is really my hand, or if I just push a button and it does this AI thing that connects to my... Like, can you even see the seam right here? Like, there isn't even a shadow. How can you believe that this is my real hand? I can't wait for this long. I get way too tired. Anyway, ciao for now.